90 Day Fiance, Season 8, The Returning Couples, coming up on the Fraudcast.
You and I tuned into the Fraudcast, the Deep Dish 90 Day Podcast. Put them to diamonds so you don't have to. Addressing the mess behind the I do's. You and I tuned into the. You and I tuned into the. You and I tuned into the Fraudcast.
Hello and welcome to the Fraudcast. I am one of your hosts, Katrina. With me, as always, is Hanakawa.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello. You sound nice and chipper and happy today.
I'm always happy. What are you talking about?
That's true. I mean, well, I don't know. You get fired up when we get you fired up about like a cast member or a storyline. You can get pretty spicy.
Get pretty spicy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty chill. My heart rate's at a steady right now, so we'll see how the episode goes.
Until we start talking about some of these storylines. Hi, welcome back, you guys. We are we're continuing our discussion of 90 Day Fiance Season 8. Last week, we brought you our thoughts on the new couples, and this week we're going to bring you our thoughts on the returning couples and their storylines. But before we get into that, a little bit of tea on Amira and Andrew. And a lot of people have been saying that they believe Amira's detention she wasn't really detained, and it was like a TLC setup, because why on earth would a French national be detained in Mexico? And what we have learned is that she actually was detained. I have obtained the paperwork, her detention paperwork. The thing that's interesting about it is that it shows that she was detained for no passport, but we know she had a passport for real. Like, she couldn't have gone from France to Amsterdam to Mexico without one. So what the no passport means, maybe she didn't have something else, some other paperwork, or maybe she didn't have a return ticket, and that's why they detained her. It's Mexico. Who knows? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I honestly did try to Google my small knowledge of anything and didn't have any clue. And that's what I was really curious about. So did something happen? Was it because of COVID? Is it because, no clue when this was filmed, depending on what they think they found, a passport issue, something, I don't know.
Yeah, so this was June. It was like June 11th or 12th when she landed in Mexico. She was detained for a couple days. And then here's the kicker. They deported her. They put her back on a plane back to France, which is where she is currently. We know she is currently in France now. So she goes back to France in June. And she's in France now. Whether between those two periods of time, she and Andrew actually meet up in person one way or another, we don't know. So
that's big, because a lot of people were looking at her Instagram stories. A lot of people were catching on that she was posting in French time. Mm-hmm. So that is clarifying that she is currently in France. But we don't know if she came back after being sent back from Mexico.
Right.
Are we going to see her and Andrew together on the show?
I don't know.
Is he going to go to France like Mike style? And and we have a story there. Otherwise, we're going to have this long story about them never actually meeting. So do they count if that happens as 90-day couple? If their 90 days technically don't start?
I have no idea. I mean, I guess TLC's got to do what they got to do because of, COVID and everything that's going on. But I mean, so far it's seeming like we're not going to see Stephanie and Ryan together, although maybe Stephanie is going to go to Belize. I don't know. And then it seems like, I mean, I was just saying last week how I can't wait to see Andrew and Amira together because I wanted to see their chemistry together. And I know that she has actually been to the United States. So they have met each other before. It's not that one of those situations.
Yes. Well, because one of their pictures they have is both of them together in a picture.
Yeah.
So
So, I mean, and she's from France, so she could fly in the United States anytime. And so that was all pre-COVID. So the issues that are happening now because of COVID. So,
Right. Oh yeah. So yeah, one fact because people will scream, he proposed to her in Las Vegas where they met. So she
right.
did get here to at least visit when
Right.
in Vegas. So
right. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. But that was a whole new twist that I was not expecting, that came out this week. So,
well, we'll have to stay tuned and see if we actually get to see them together this season.
I really want to see them
and what
together.
it's going to take. Yeah. And see what it's going to take, because I mean, I know there's a lot of ways you can posit or cite that there's challenges, but their visa expiring could happen as well while all this is happening. So
right. So how's that going to affect things? Does she have to do they have to reapply? Because she got her visa approved, but then it's expiring and she can't get over. Like, what does that all mean? What does it mean? Yeah. So that's that. So when this pandemic started, hetero life mate, he started working from home and on a completely different schedule. So this meant that I was now in charge of planning and cooking dinner for the entire family. So this freaked me out, especially when a trip to the grocery store is stressful and I just really can't be going. But then I found Gobble. Gobble is the meal kit delivery service designed for real life. I've got one kid in virtual school and one kid in in-person school, and hetero life mate is working all kinds of wacky hours. But with Gobble, no matter how crazy your schedules are, we can still get a nutritious, flavorful homemade dinner on the table where I sit down with all of the kids because it only takes 15 minutes.
Definitely. And I mean, Gobble does all the time-consuming work for us. They pick out the healthy quality ingredients. One of my favorite, they pre-portion and prep the ingredients, like even chopping up the vegetables for you. You just pick the meal from Gobble's extensive dinner menu each week, including a variety of flavors, classic dishes, global recipes, and delicious vegetarian options. Plus, they do have a line of lean and clean recipes that have low calorie and low carb options.
And the Gobble box is delivered fresh right to your doorstep. It's so easy to prepare. It's ready to serve in just 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, Gobble is a life-changing service. It is such a life hack.
Plus, you can skip delivery weeks or cancel the service at any time.
They're offering our listeners this fantastic limited time deal, which is 6 meals for just $36 plus free shipping. That's dinner for 2 for 3 nights for just $36. Great way to try this. And it's only available if you use the code FRAUDED. To get this special offer now, go to gobble.com/frauded. That's gobble.com/frauded for 6 meals for just $36. This season, we're graced with the return of several couples. And now I've said this before, and I'm continuing to say it week after week, is that I'm watching this season for the new couples. The returning couples, what appears to be made up storylines and acting just isn't doing it for me. And I want to start with Rebecca and Ziad. And here's why. So we have the return of Rebecca and Ziad, who you may remember from before the 90 days, or she flew over there to Tunisia.
Right. I think it was season 3, if I'm correct.
Okay. And then, this season is about him coming over here. And the first couple of episodes is he has this interview, and then he's like, oh, well, they took my passport, so I don't know what's happening. And then they try to make it this cliffhanger, like what happened. But everybody knows that he got his visa because that's what they do. They take your passport to put the visa in it, right? And everybody knows that he already came over here, and everybody knows that they got married and stuff. So like this fake acting thing of whatever they're doing with her refreshing the screen to see if his visa's been approved and all that, I think is ridiculous production.
Well, they have to add a little bit of drama, right?
Yeah, I just don't like it because it's clearly fake.
I think honestly, so here's my take on some of it. I think that they have to reenact it because they don't catch these moments.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These people are she's living her day-to-day life. She's renewing the visa application thing to see if it's been renewed. And the camera crew isn't going to take every walk with her to see if it's been renewed, right?
Right.
So she's going to have to recreate that moment where she found out that Ziad could come over.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking. So while it is cheesy, I don't see any other way that they would get around having to recreate it other than her, sitting in a chair and saying, I was cooking chicken at the restaurant. I refreshed my phone and saw that it was,
but why do we have to recreate it? Why can't you just say?
Because we need minutes. This is COVID time.
I guess
time is money. This is TLC. Come on. You haven't figured this out yet?
No,
we're in season 8. Season 8.
I know I think that there's enough drama. There's enough tension and stuff with them with like we saw this week with her daughter, Tiffany, and her husband, Micah, right? Like there's enough tension with all of that we don't need to create fake stuff.
It's just added drama. I think all of her drama and tension came to a head and before the 90 days around her still being married.
Oh yeah, I have a secret.
The secret. Everyone has a secret. And I think that there's nothing else to ride for this one because we know they got married. So evidently everything went fine despite the challenges that her kids had put in the way, whatever. And that's it. What else is there to tell? Right. We have to have a little family drama sprinkled in. We have to have
what are his true intentions and all that.
Right. We got to get him his first tattoo and maybe a nose ring or a nipple stud or something like,
yeah.
Open up the rebel.
Yeah. And that all would be fun to watch. Like Americanizing Ziad would be fun to watch.
Americanizing Ziad. Oh Lord.
I think it would be fun to watch that. So I don't know. Like
They should have a new spinoff, 90 Day, The Acclimation.
Oh,
and it just follows the stories and it doesn't even have like the American cast member in it. It just follows the person who's coming over their story and how they feel day to day. That I would watch. I want to see how the other person feels when they come over.
like 90 Day Diaries, like that they have over on.
Yeah, but just one half. Like I don't need to see both of them. Like sometimes you're just interested in one person.
Who are we more interested in, Rebecca or Ziad?
Oh, that's hard. Everyone goes after Ziad because they think he's a heartthrob, but I think Rebecca has a lot of depth to her. Mm-hmm. Like even in her stories and, she was her being able to empathize with Ziad's mother, seeing him leave. As a mom, you think about your kids going to a different country. So I think I think there's more to her than we get to see on the screen. So I don't know. I follow her on Instagram. I don't think I follow Ziad. So.
Yeah, I think same.
So, but he never posts, so it's fine. And it's funny because I'm kind of segueing into the next interesting couple, Mike and Natalie.
Oh, okay.
Mike doesn't have an Instagram either. Like he's
he just
does he now?
Well, he had one.
He had one. He doesn't have one anymore.
Okay, got it.
At least, or he's so quiet on it, everyone's forgotten. Or
yeah,
I used to follow it. I don't anymore. It's fine. He didn't post anything anyways. He's more of a Facebook guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Natalie's Instagram is really interesting. I didn't think it was her until I still don't know if it's actually her Instagram. Like, what are these pictures? But yeah. So they came back, and we knew that Natalie came to America in January. I think it was
is that when we learned about it?
I just go back to when you put the post up. I think it was January.
Okay.
I think it was January.
Okay.
When she came into Seattle, it leaked out. He was at the airport with flowers, and we actually get to see that scene on the screen, so we can, confirm in our heads.
I know, right? It's like,
that actually happened.
I have video of it,
right,
from the airport.
But they go back and forth. So I mean, we had heard rumors that she was here and that she was unhappy, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so I'm wondering, all the unhappiness that we see on the screen, is that real?
Right.
Because she, either that or she gets a freaking Oscar, because her
And
range of emotions in like
he just
5
seems
minutes.
so apathetic about her. He's just so
He's just like, whatever.
whatever.
Okay. Yeah. She's like, I'm scared because the fish are scared or something like that. And then she's shoving her fork into a scallop the next day.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's so I can't put my finger on why their story is bizarre, other than
they don't seem to have any chemistry. Like it
it doesn't seem like she really wants to be there. She's like, I haven't unpacked my stuff yet. Like, she made an excuse. There's no room for me. Like,
he's like, I cleared out half the closet for you. She's like, I don't want the closet. I want the dresser.
but she's like, I don't hang my clothes. I'm like, okay, what? I can see you have a preference there.
All right, yeah.
Or
yeah.
she doesn't want the clothes hanging in the closet because there's
smells.
years of cooking steak and French toast looming in the air in the closet.
It's just boy smell. You know, boy smell. You've got 2 boys in the house. Well,
I don't have boy smell though.
You have man, and your little one is too little for the funk. That when they hit about 6th, 7th grade, they start to get this funk, and I have no idea what it is.
I don't know
where it comes from.
Good laundry. I don't know. I have Scentsies everywhere. If everyone knows what
so do I. So do I.
I never smell the funk, but I can imagine that in his closed closet, there's just like, I don't know, maybe boots that were in there. You know, he goes fishing and stuff. Like, you put all that stuff in the closet, you don't think about it.
It's probably musty and just funky. Just needs to be aired out.
But it's nothing that little airing out can't do. A little saging.
It seems like neither of them are particularly interested in making the other one happy. Like, I feel like if he was really into her being here and stuff, like, he would have gone out of his way to make sure he had tea for her because, you know, she likes tea and carrots or whatever. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like this big spread like they would do in Europe, which is, I've been seeing that a lot, like what her expectations were because of what they do in Europe and over there in Ukraine and stuff. When someone comes to visit, like peasant food spread out everywhere as a welcome type of thing. So I don't think that she's necessarily expecting that, but like if he was really like wanting to please her as a partner, he could have gone out of his way to try to make things a little bit more like welcoming for her. And if she really was interested in pleasing him and making him happy, she would not be bitching about every single goddamn thing so much, you know? Like, and here's my issue. And we saw this with Yara and Jovi this week as well. You know, and as what is she's like, what am I expected to do while you're gone? And I can't do anything. I'm going to be bored and lonely. The only thing I can do is clean. Don't these people watch trash TV? Why can't they sit their asses on a couch and binge some Netflix and eat your carrots and whatever? But like, why must you be entertained 24/7 out and about all of these things? Can't you does anybody just want to sit around and do nothing for like a day, at least a day or two?
No, I mean,
TV, watch a movie.
On the flip side, if I move to Japan, let's say if I moved to Japan, right? And my husband had a job and I had to entertain myself for 8 hours a day. I don't know if I'd want to sit inside. But there would have to be some kind of like, maybe there's a friend that can help her go around, see everything, get used to the area, know what's available to her, where markets are, stuff like. I mean, what does she do in her everyday life at home that would translate?
She had Uncle Bo that could have shown her around.
Okay, but Uncle Bo's a felon.
She done pushed him out of the house.
I would too.
I know.
He's got a history, especially he's got a history. I don't want him driving me around nowhere. But there had to be, I don't know, maybe the woman that she thought he was cheating on her with could help. Maybe he has an ex-girlfriend that can help her around. I don't know. Somebody. I wouldn't want to sit at home all day either. But I mean, for the first week, sure. The second week, okay, whatever. But she can't do that for the rest of her time there.
Right. Right. I understand, like, for 6 months, she can't do that, until she's able to, get married and get her work permit or whatever. I understand that that's not a lifestyle for most people. But we've learned with pandemic that you have
But
to,
you can't go anywhere either, right? Yeah.
yeah. So you got to figure things out, right? And
but this was just in the beginning of that in January, so I
yeah,
can
she
only
did.
give so much of a pass to that excuse.
Oh yeah, no. That was, yeah, that's right. She came over in January, so she had a couple months before we went into the lockdown. I can't find it to save my life now. But there's a marriage certificate for the two of them floating around.
Yes, but I don't know when.
Yeah, I can't remember when it is. Obviously, if she arrived in January, I mean, it would have had to been by, February, March, April. I mean, once 90 days from her landing there, right?
Right. I think the rumor, the date of application apparently was March 17th. Don't quote me. I just Googled this. But it looks, I Googled the news because I knew it came out, but who knows where it originated from. But it seems like March is when they at least applied for marriage license. So she came in January. It took almost 2 months for them to get the license. That is interesting.
Well, if they maybe just didn't apply for it, because what we're seeing on screen is, he won't give her the ring back, and she's all like, "Oh, we can't plan a date till I have the ring," and whatever this nonsense about, is she gonna, threatens to fly back to Ukraine and all this stuff. So we're seeing the marriage license, no, the application.
The data application is in March. You would think
I feel
that
like we saw the actual marriage license itself too.
Maybe I would have to search some more.
Yeah,
for that, but I wasn't prepared. Okay, I wasn't prepared for this meeting. I had to prepare for about 6 others today. Okay, no, we could probably find that information and then, of course, give credit where it's due if it's posted on somebody else's social media page. But
yeah. That's where it came
for
up
me.
First. Somebody had posted it, and I remember, looking into it and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah, but I guess for me, I know for them it's kind of interesting because they were on rocky territory, and I think she only had like 20 days to get to America from the approval of her visa. But they're really the only couple that I think it might be appropriate for them to figure out if they want to be married before getting married. Because, we yell at them and we say the 90 days isn't about you guys getting to know each other.
Right.
And seeing if the puzzle pieces fit. You come over here to get married. Like, you should be married within like 2 weeks of them arriving, right?
Right. You should already know.
As soon as you get off the plane, you should do it Mercil and
Mercil and Anna
style and just drive the taxi from the airport to the damn courthouse. So yeah, I don't have anything else to really say about them except for it was really funny to see the preview with her packing her stuff and seeing ancient aliens on the dresser. I'm like, did he show it to her? I'm hoping they had like movie night.
Oh
when
my
he showed
God.
her the
he actually has like the DVDs of it. Like,
yes. It's on Netflix too, so he could have left her alone with Netflix.
Oh God,
and had her binge watch it.
No.
She's like, I understand now, Mike. I think they're aliens too.
I don't believe in God anymore. I believe in aliens.
Oh my God, no. That would actually be an interesting turn of events for them. Then they'd be happy because then all three of them, Uncle Bo included, could theory craft their hearts out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that's worth mentioning about those two.
I don't think so at this point. I mean, there's I mean, it's hard to tell if there's any carryover from storylines from their last season. And it seems like their storyline thus far is just, them not really meshing, French toast versus carrots and closets versus dressers and stuff. I don't know, if we're going to revisit any of her quote unquote trust issues that she has, because he slept on the couch of friend that happens to have a vagina. And so, she doesn't trust him and doesn't love him or something. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to revisit any of the storylines or not, but let's talk about your favorite.
My favorite?
Your
goodness.
favorite. Tariq and Hazel, and just for funsies, Minty.
Minty. I hear minty. Minty? Minty?
Mint.
Like minty fresh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When he says it, just sounds like he's saying Mindy.
Mandy.
So I'm like, what? Who? I don't have much to say about them.
Oh, that's not true. That is not true. You have lots to say about him.
I'm confused. So like,
just say it. Just let loose.
Just let loose. You're so funny. I feel like it's been such a long time since we've seen their original story. But I'm mentally getting reacquainted with them, but hearing their story, I don't want to dive too much into, play by play, but mistakes Tariq is making. You don't text or call the ex whatever third wheel to see if they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
If the reason why you had an issue with your previous fiance is because of that person, right?
Right.
I don't know if there's anything else to unpack in their story. It's kind of lackluster.
No, but I love hearing your oh God, I hate him. I love it when you go.
Well, I don't hate him. I hate their storyline.
Yeah, that's
I think it's like just get married already. Like I guess I want to know, maybe this is what we're seeing is what has happened in the past few years. Because when was his season on originally?
Forever ago.
That's my thing. I'm like, this is all that's happened
before the 90 days, several seasons ago.
Right. So I know him more from Pillow Talk, or I know more of his character from Pillow Talk.
And where he's on with Dean, and they had a falling out, which they're covering over on Bears All, which we're covering over on our Patreon. So
right.
It all comes. So refresher for those who don't know or didn't see, Hazel lives in the Philippines. He is a huge world traveler. He's the Black Anthony Bourdain, allegedly is what he calls himself.
There's so much wrong with saying that nowadays. Mm-hmm. But yeah, sure.
I know.
And Anthony Bourdain could cook. Right.
But you can credit him for your interest in the country. I mean, that's fine.
I mean, he's visited that place as many times as David has visited Ukraine, right?
Oh God. Yeah, at least.
So, I mean, that's what I would compare it to. He took several tours.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Well, okay. So he met Hazel on a dating site. He goes over to the Philippines. He meets her, makes some questionable fashion choices, and they end up engaged after he proposed to her, rapping a song that he wrote. And we all had to live through that. And then,
is that one available on Spotify too?
I don't know. Round the Way Girl. Is that what that one's called? Oh. So we'll have to look. In hot sauce. And so this season picks up with her flying over here. I guess her K1's been approved. She's flying over here, and it's all of that. What we also learn is that there was some fucking Tariq, man. There was some issue where apparently Hazel was possibly pregnant, and then she lost the pregnancy, and Tariq somehow decided in his mind that she had an abortion, and without consulting him or something. There was some miscommunication that could have been completely cleared up by him actually talking to her. And then so he was all mad at her and ends up meeting this other girl because he was immediately back on the dating site. So he meets this girl, Minty, and starts dating her. Doesn't quite work out or something, or I don't know. He ends up back with Hazel. He's telling Hazel about him dating Minty, which why do you do that? But whatever. So he tells her about it. And then Minty's like, ooh, maybe I'll like her. Because they're trying to play up this whole bisexuality storyline and how she wants a girlfriend. So then she decides, Hazel decides that she wants to maybe date Minty. And so all three of them date. So they're in this like triad. And then that doesn't work out. So they break up with Minty and it's just the two of them again. And then fast forward to COVID and Tariq calls Minty to check on her or texts her. And this is the whole thing about now he's debating, do I tell Hazel or not? And the answer to that is no. You don't tell her. You don't hurt somebody else to alleviate your own feelings of guilt. But that's,
Yeah, you're gonna have to stick with that one, because the whole like reaching out anyways to me makes me think that she's already on your mind. Right?
Yeah. Why are you thinking about
out in that area, and the first thing you think about is, oh, I hope that person is safe. Either you've been talking with her still, this is the first time you just reached out to message them, whatever. You need to just sit with that guilt. Like, I feel like that's such a plot drain to sit on this big secret that I messaged this one person. I don't know if I need to, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I keep getting triggered by I feel like I should tell her and be honest with her. And I get, when I see this dynamic play out on any reality show, on any whatever, any non-reality show, I get triggered by it, because you cheated, you did this, whatever. You want to tell your current partner because you feel guilty. So you want to get it off your chest, but you're hurting that person. You're causing them harm by telling them this, because it just, there's no need for them to know about this. You're telling them to relieve your own feelings of guilt, and you're hurting them in the process. And I don't think that that's okay. I don't think that's okay at all. And so I get very triggered by this dynamic.
What really gets me is that, instead of telling Hazel this, instead of telling the producers or whatever, I don't know, like, how do the producers come about, hey, are there any secrets that you've been keeping from Hazel that you want to make the main focus of your storyline? Like, how do you get there for them to know, to the point where you're admitting it on camera, whatever? What he should ask himself is why he felt the need to reach out, and what does that mean to him before he marries Hazel?
Right. Yeah.
Not that it's going to become a big thing. It could be something totally behind the scenes that we don't know about and we don't care about. I don't know. But those are big things. Like, me mentally, if I were to reach out to somebody I was involved with once, my big question would be, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why do I care enough to make sure they're okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he's not messaging every fling he's had to see if they're okay.
Maybe he is.
Then that's a bigger problem.
You think? This is why we fucking hate their storyline, right? Tarzal.
I just, with him, I just feel like he's really, really, really big-headed. And both him and his, I'm right to say cousin, right? Are they cousins?
Or are they brothers?
No, I should know this. I looked it up.
Him and Dean?
Him and Dean, yeah.
I think they're presented as brothers, but I think they might in reality be cousins.
I need to look that up. Someone can comment. You can at me.
Sorry,
let me know what their real relationship is.
Sorry,
I haven't thought about it.
Hanako was not fully prepared for this podcast. You guys.
I'm not a true fan. I don't know the relationship.
4 stars.
Stop
3
it.
stars.
Stop it. But yeah, despite what their relationship is, they're both two very big-headed gentlemen. And that's what I think. That's what bugs me, is that he's like, I'm me. I'm the best rapper. I'm this and that. And I'm like,
well, and seeing him on Bears All last week was like, I think that's coloring our perception, at least yours, maybe. Because
a lot of things, his behavior there, like I said, like, you watch his live, the fact that he only follows like Discovery Plus now and
Oh,
Hazel. Yeah. He had to prove me wrong in my last statement. If he only follows one person, and he had to go follow Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
That's all he follows. I'm
He's
like,
probably under contract. He has to.
you can only follow one person, Tariq. Don't do it. But I don't know. Like follow a freaking like 7-Eleven or something. Or your favorite rapper or your record company or something. Spotify. Open your horizons. You're allowed to. I don't know. It just annoys me.
This is what I like.
Pet peeves. I don't even know why
This is
it
why
bothers me. I don't know
what
why
I
it
love
bothers
listening
me.
to, though.
My mini rants.
Yes. And so, yeah, that's it then. So those are our couples. And I think, okay, so with them, we're going to see more of Hazel fitting in with like the dynamic she has with his daughter, which seems good so far.
Right. I really want to see more of Hazel. I want to see more of Hazel without Dean. Not Dean. Without Tariq. Oops. I want to see more of her personality because I feel like she's changed a lot since we last seen her.
Yeah.
Not just physically, but I mean she's grown up a lot since then.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to just see more of her, especially with his daughter. And I know they're going to hang the whole like, if my daughter doesn't like her, it's that's not true. If your daughter doesn't like her, you're going to work on it and establish an appropriate relationship for them both. You're not going to just say, well, wedding's off because my kid doesn't like you.
Yeah, the first day, but
the first day you meet them. Come on.
And she's autistic, so like
there's a lot to digest there.
Yeah.
So, it's just I can't.
Yeah. So this is why I like the new couples better than the old couples.
They don't have a trailer of BS behind them.
Yeah.
I honestly think that each couple should have like an expiration date. Like you get
We've
your
talked
main,
about
you
this
get
before.
you get the main show, you get a follow up, and then you can go to the app. I don't care what you do. Go to the app.
Go to Discovery Plus.
Go to Discovery Plus, and then we get new couples. I just want to meet new people.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I've been really happy with the new couples. They're a hot mess. They're train wrecks. There's so much to love and hate about all the new couples. That's what I'm excited about. Even crazy Stephanie referring to Ryan to her cat as daddy. And I was laughing hysterically because I was like, and I posted this on Instagram. Why are all these women trying to get these men to get their kids to call these men daddy? And she's talking to her cat. Like I talk to my animals like that all the time. And so, I mean, it's not about her talking to her animals. It was about calling Ryan daddy. I don't know. Anyway.
So that was our show. Thank you guys for being here and listening to us. We really appreciate it. If you want to hear more of our conversation about Bears All, you can head over to the Patreon. That's the patreon.com/fraudcast. We'll be talking about Bears All in depth, so you guys don't have to watch it. And we will be as uncensored as the show. So that's why we're going to keep it over on the Patreon. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave a review. You can find Katrina at Frauded Media on Instagram, and you can find me at 90 Day Fiance Today. I'm kind of lonely, so if you guys want to come and follow me, I'm actually getting back on Instagram because I've been MIA, but yeah, definitely throw us a couple follows. We also post in new tea as we get it up on the Frauded Media page. So thank you, everyone, and I hope everyone has a great day.
We are the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving, so you don't have to.
Right. I mean, the biggest question he needs to ask himself. Hold on, my mic is falling.
Well, is the sky also falling?
Cut point. The sky is falling and so is my mic.